Bungie's ongoing struggles with Destiny 2 to Nintendo making headlines for all the wrong reasons, plus some major releases and controversies across the industry, there's plenty to catch up on. It's October 2025. Let's get into it. Welcome back to This Month in Gaming. It's been a few months since our last roundup. We took a break to retool and fine-tune some things, but the gaming world definitely didn't slow down while I was gone. It's been a rough few months for Bungie. Destiny 2, once a dominant live service success story, has seen one of its sharpest player declines in years. Since the start of 2025, engagement has continued to drop, fueled by frustration over the power grind, mind-numbingly repetitive activities, and what players see as Bungie's continued growing disconnect from its own community.
And these changes are as welcome to the community as Kanye is at a bar mitzvah. Oh, but don't worry, because we're listening. Really, because you don't fucking act like it. All you've done is shit the bed, so why not piss in it as well?
Fan feedback paints a pretty clear picture. They've given up hope and are moving on. Many feel their input, especially around leveling, loot balance, and content, has gone largely unheard. And while the Edge of Fate expansion promised to be a major turning point for Destiny, the player's sentiment suggests otherwise. While the story received some praise, players are calling it simply too little too late. The newly introduced portal system has been met with nothing but extreme disdain, while others argue Bungie has completely lost sight of what made Destiny so special in the first place. To make matters worse, Bungie's communication has been minimal outside of patch notes, and several popular content creators who, let's be real, were the only people left generating any sort of hype for the game, have stopped covering Destiny altogether. Even Bungie's sudden backtrack on some universally hated changes weren't enough to bring anyone back.
Like we should be happy that they're running back on some stupid shit that they shouldn't have done in the first place. No. You can't just back out of Poland, Hitler. We saw what you did.
The fact such poorly conceived changes made it past the planning phase speaks volumes of where the studio is at right now. Bungie, here's some free advice. Grinding is never a replacement for content, you assholes. It's now a pivotal moment for the studio as a whole, one that could determine whether they can rebound and rebuild with the launch of the Star Wars-themed Renegades expansion, or just simply fade into gaming history.
And every choice you make will lead you here. To who you're supposed to be. Eyes up, weapon.
Next up, Nintendo, a company that somehow manages to be both loved and loathed by gamers at the same time. If you're a child, you probably love them. If you're an adult, you recognize the stranger danger. This month, Nintendo won a new US patent that's been raising eyebrows across the gaming community. The patent relates to systems and methods of controlling a battle between the sub-character and the enemy player. You know, like how you do in games like, Pokemon. So if you're a gaming company, and part of the mechanic of your new game involves the summoning of creatures to help fight on your behalf, Nintendo might just sue your ass.
Jonathan, fire type. Also black. It's not racist, just an observation.
It's not hard to see why people are uneasy. Nintendo already has a long history of being aggressively anti-consumer. From shutting down fan projects and emulation sites, striking content creators, never taking responsibility for the infamous Joy-Con drift issue, and now just bricking Switch 2 consoles remotely if they feel like it. With this new patent in play, many fear the company could tighten its control over a large chunk of the gaming industry even further. Let's rewind for a moment, because since April, the gaming world has been busy. One of the biggest headlines? Hollow Knight Silksong. After years of anticipation, Team Cherry finally released the sequel on September 4th, and it's already being called one of the best indie games ever made. Launch day was so massive that digital storefronts like the PlayStation Store, Steam, and Nintendo's eShop briefly crashed due to such high demand. Within a few weeks, Silksong had surpassed 6 million downloads, with critics and fans praising its world design, tight controls, and haunting score. It's a powerful reminder that even in a market full of live service games and sequels, a meticulously crafted single player experience can still steal the spotlight. If you've been anywhere near the gaming community these past few months, you've probably seen how wild the ride has been with Helldivers 2. After launching back in early 2024, Helldivers 2 carved out a dedicated fan base with its chaotic, co-op driven gameplay and tongue-in-cheek militarism. But since April 2025, things have gone from smooth sailing to, well, orbital bombardment. The game's long-awaited Xbox release in August was supposed to be a victory lap for developer Arrowhead Game Studios. Crossplay between PlayStation, PC, and Xbox finally united the player base. And it worked. Player counts skyrocketed, toppling 500,000 concurrent users, rivaling its own launch week numbers. But that growth came with a price. Almost immediately, reports began to flood in about performance degradation, even on high-end systems. Players on PC and PS5 alike started experiencing frame rate dips, desync issues, and matchmaking lag. Problems that weren't nearly as prevalent earlier in the year. Things came to a head in September when a couple of new patches intended to fix some of these issues ended up doing the exact opposite. They were triggering frequent disconnects, stuttering animations, and occasional full game crashes. The frustration hit a boiling point with Reddit threads and Discord servers lighting up with posts stating how unstable the game had become, and it was largely unplayable. Players were pleading with the studio to forget about releasing any new Warbond content and focus purely on optimization and fixes, which they did. Arrowhead stated they had snowballed way too much tech debt and the game was suffering greatly for it. They agreed to push back any new content releases and went mostly radio silent as they put their heads down and got to work fixing the game's issues. On October 23rd, they released a massive patch filled with fixes and reworks. While still not perfect, the patch was a huge step in the right direction for the studio. Despite the issues, the core community remains fiercely loyal, partly because Helldivers 2 still nails one of the things most live service titles miss, a sense of teamwork and chaos that's actually fun. When it works, it's magic. When it doesn't, well, you get a few too many failed dropship extractions because the pilot of Pelican 1 is drunk at the wheel. And yet, that shared frustration is kind of what makes the game special. Even in its messiest moments, players joke about spreading managed democracy while waiting for yet another hotfix. If Arrowhead can stabilize the experience and keep communication open, Helldivers 2 could easily remain one of the most talked about cooperative shooters well into 2026. But if the technical problems persist, the community's patience, much like their supply of reinforcements, might finally run out. Now that we've caught up a little bit, let's talk about something else that has happened right here in October. Microsoft made some serious waves, and not in a good way, after announcing a 50% price hike for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, bumping the monthly cost up to $30. The backlash was instant. So many players rushed to cancel their subscriptions that Microsoft's site crashed from the surge in traffic. It's one thing for your site to crash due to demand, like in the case of Silksong. It's another thing for your site to crash because of such blatant fucking greed. For many, this marks a turning point. Game Pass was once the gold standard for value in gaming. But between rising costs and fewer day one releases, players are clearly indicating it's just no longer worth it. It's been a packed few months, and it feels great to be back covering it all. So, sorry I didn't talk more about October in specific, but a lot has happened since April. As always, thank you so much for watching this month in gaming. If you enjoyed the recap, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. share this video with your fellow gaming nerds, and let me know how wrong I am in the comments. We'll be back at the end of November to cover everything that happens next month, and there's plenty to look forward to. Until then, never stop gaming. Fuck, I just want to go to bed.